the only show that enables women to share their own secrets and insights to wellness, one story at a time.
Thanks, Paul. Hey, everybody. Happy Thursday afternoon. This is Diane McConaughey from My Jane. Welcome to My Jane, My Story. My Jane is a trusted advisor assisting to address our biggest health concerns like sleep, pain, and stress. We've done the research for you by evaluating and curating each low-dose My Jane box with the finest cannabis and hemp-based products, enabling more informed health and wellness choices. Our mission is to unite and empower women through community, education, and exploration of cannabis solutions. There is so much overwhelming information out there, so we decided we needed to come together and share stories by creating My Jane, My Story. This is a place to talk about real-life experiences so we can be better and do better by helping one another. Every journey is unique and every path is special. We are extremely grateful to have our guests here to share with us. This is a non-judgmental space where every question is necessary to learn and shift our perspective on this plant. So today we have a very special show. You might recall our two-time guest, Allie Beecher, the brave three-time cancer survivor. We have her Guy on today with another one of his cancer patients. He is someone we are going to continue to hear more about. Pete Seiss is the founder of California Botanicals Direct. He has been helping cancer patients for over 10 years. Pete has helped over 60 patients to remission, utilizing his 4-part plan to beat cancer. He has also been featured in the documentary Cannabis vs. Cancer on Amazon Prime, directed by Jeremy Norrie. California Botanicals Direct was formed in 2014 and directly serves patients in the medical cannabis market. During that time, helping patients in their cannabis collective, the company became versed in all aspects of extracting and purifying the products, ensuring anyone who received medicine was receiving clean, safe medicine. California Botanicals Direct's desire is to ensure that when people explore quality CBD products and alternative health products, they receive products with nutritional formulas containing only premium organic ingredients. In these tough economic times, they also seek to offer discounted pricing so more people will have the opportunity to experience an enhanced quality of life through hemp-derived products. Pete also brought with him Samantha Orloff. She is a 39-year-old woman who lives in Orange County, California, and works in the financial field. Samantha found out she had lung cancer in November of 2019. After frustrating encounters with medical professionals, she contacted Pete and started his 4-part plan. And she is here today to share with us. So welcome, you guys. Thank you for being here, Pete and Samantha. I'm glad to have you guys here today.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. So, Pete, tell us about you. Tell us how you found about cannabis and as a part of your life, how you got to this space.
It's a really weird story for me because I was kind of anti-cannabis for a long, long time.
Oh.
And when I had about 15 years clean, someone said that cannabis cured cancer, and I didn't believe them. They had some oil, and they said, this stuff cures cancer, and I didn't believe them. So I just started reading online, and I started obsessing a little. And I obsessed for a few months and learned a bunch, and then there was some people in Oregon at a place called Skunk Farm Research, and they held classes on extracting.
Oh, cool.
So I actually went up and took a class, and I still hadn't used cannabis or anything. I was just knowledge seeking. And I went up and I took a class, and I met this lady who had a horrible, horrible story. And she had found out she had cancer. And she did like I did, looked on the web for solutions, and she'd found Skunk Farm Research as well, and she was in Oregon. So she went over and they gave her some free medicine, and the next day, she had a doctor appointment, and she let her doctor know she was going to try this. Well, at that time, it was still a real big stigma about cannabis.
Right.
And so her doctor told her insurance company, and her insurance company called her the next night and said, if you test positive for cannabis, we're not paying for your chemo.
Oh my God.
And she's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I was just trying to help myself.
Right.
And then for 9 months, she did chemo until she was almost dead. And then they said, we didn't get it. There's nothing more we can do. You should go get your affairs in order. And then she remembered about the oil that Skunk Farm had given her. And 90 days later, she was in remission.
Oh, my gosh.
And she looked me in the eye and told me that story.
Wow.
And I bought a machine that day. I had family that had grown weed for years. I just didn't really associate with them because I was in recovery. But I knew I could get it if I wanted it.
Right.
And that's how I started,
Wow.
And then little bit by little bit, I learned along the way and developed the 4-part plan through trial and error, along the way.
And how long ago? When was this?
It's about 10 years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, the cannabis wasn't...
Yeah,
it wasn't revered
not.
at all as
was,
it is today.
Yeah, and not only was it was like there was a stigma,
Right.
And I was in recovery full bore. I was like speaking at NA conventions and stuff like that, and then helping people.
Yeah.
And I had 4 remissions
Wow.
before I tried it myself.
Really? Oh, wow.
And then I tried cannabis, and the first time I tried cannabis, I regretted it because I thought I made a horrible mistake.
Like
I
you were
was so high. It
backsliding
was
or-
all
yeah.
bad. It was the
You're like,
worst
"No."
thing. I was babysitting a dog, and the dog came up and was like, "It's okay, man." Like I was all anxious and
Yeah.
weird, and then once I started taking the oil, it was I had a doctor that worked with me to get rid of the meds that I was on and to raise the cannabis oil.
Okay.
And that doctor's retired now, but he helped me at the time get
cool.
off of all the meds that I was on and on that.
Wow. That's
And-
amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
What
actually.
a cool way that you found that you. It's not like, oh, I had all these great things that I was using and it was helping me. You just from research and just
Well,
from
it was
a
there was a
story.
bunch of people I lost. I lost
Right.
like 5 people that were close to me to cancer.
Okay.
And then my friend Tonis came by and said,
Yeah.
and he had some black oil that he said, "This stuff cures cancer." And I didn't believe it.
Well, why would you? Why would you? We weren't taught that, right?
Right.
I mean, and you're taught drugs are bad, right?
I always thought, because I had 15 years clean in NA at the time, I thought that the whole medical thing was just so the stoners could smoke their weed.
Yeah.
I really thought that. I
Yeah.
thought that with all my heart, and it was wrong. It was so completely off from what I know to be true now.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Well, so tell us about California Botanicals Direct and what you're doing for patients.
So California Botanicals Direct originally started as a collective under Prop 215.
Okay.
And I was able to start helping people, and I've been able to, up until they ended that, the sunset clause was last year, but I was able to help people and give people oil free and
Okay.
not charge and not have any problems. And then with the legalization with Prop 64, there was a sunset clause for Prop 215, and they made it to where it's illegal for me to give someone free medicine now. And if
Yeah.
I do give them free medicine, then I owe the government the taxes for the retail value on that.
Okay. Okay.
So what I had to do is I had to make a decision whether I go work for someone else and let them use my recipes and all that,
right.
or I could leave the industry altogether, or I could come the direction I came and start. So then what I'm doing with California Botanicals Direct is I'm trying to make the highest cannabinoid medicine that I can at the best price point. And what my goal is to establish a subscription base for people who
cool.
want the real medicine,
Right,
not,
right.
not the gas station
Right.
CBD.
Well, and then they can continue to take it. So you're
Right.
making it affordable because it
Right.
seems like a lot of these patients get it and then they can't continue because it's
Right.
so expensive.
Right, right.
Good.
It's
Well, that's-
crazy.
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is.
Right. I mean, I always like to say that the chemo costs way more, but they don't hear that.
No. Oh, I have stories of when I was going through cancer about that, which I won't go into it. But yeah, it's unreal what the medical system. No,
They have it
it's-
to where they can milk every penny out of you before
Right.
getting rid of you.
Exactly.
It's really scary.
They want us to stay sick a lot of times.
What I had to do with CBD Pete and California Botanicals Direct is I had to make a separation. I had to separate any kind of medicine stuff that I'm doing, helping people, separate from the corporate entity that I created with the California Botanicals Direct. California Botanicals Direct is a hemp conduit for legal, tested, good product that I could do.
Yeah.
And CBD Pete still can advise people.
Okay.
The corporate entity, I can't.
Yeah.
According to the FDA, I can't give people the advice that I give, and I can't do that. So I had to separate that, and I made the California Botanicals Direct a hemp conduit, and then I have the CBD Pete thing. It's a whole nother thing, and I'm tying everything together with the documentary and the upcoming book and the 4-part plan and all that.
Well, tell us about the 4-part plan.
So the 4-part plan is I call it the 4-part plan, but really it's just a little bit of being cognizant of what you're putting in your body and setting yourself up for your body to be in a place to heal. And so the first part is the alkalinity. You have to be cognizant of your alkalinity. So a guy by the name of Dr. Otto Warburg originally discovered and was given the Nobel Peace Prize for discovering that no disease, including cancer, can survive in an alkaline environment. So what I learned when I first started is I was trying to get people, I'd say, oh, drink lemon water and baking soda. And then for a while I told, oh, drink apple cider vinegar. Or, oh, these people trying to push alkaline water. And then someone explained to me one time, they said, okay, so apple cider vinegar, all these things, you're pouring it into a stomach that's pure acid. So none of that's going to work. You need to change it to the alkaline diet, and you have to eat foods that metabolize alkaline and remove foods that metabolize acidic.
Right.
And once you do that, then your body becomes an unfriendly place for cancer. Alkalinity is not going to beat the cancer. It's just going to make it an unfriendly place for cancer.
Where it won't grow as quickly, right? Yeah.
Then step 2.
Okay.
Removing all sugar from your diet.
Yeah.
I always make sure every cancer patient, I look them in the eye and explain that every single time you put sugar in your mouth, you are feeding your cancer.
Right.
And they say, well, what about, yep, that too. just so you know. Yes, that too. And it's the hardest part, and it's a lifestyle change. And it's not only sugar, but it's sugar and preservatives and anything that doesn't rot, you shouldn't put in your body.
It's like the American diet, really.
It's like
it's
horrible,
terrible.
right? And the third part of the 4-part plan is 100% of cancer patients are nutrient deficient. And the most natural way to fix that is to up your intake of nutrients. And there's no way I can get you to eat 3 pounds of veggies a day. But I can get you to juice a couple pounds. And if you remove the pulp, it's just like liquid, and you pee out and you get all the nutrients. So I could supercharge your body with the nutrients it needs to get your body to start helping itself. And then the 4th part is the oil.
Okay.
So make your body an unfriendly place for cancer. Stop feeding the cancer. Give your body the nutrients it needs so it can start healing.
Yeah.
And then the oil.
And it sounds so simple.
It's really simple.
I know it's not simple to make it, to do daily for people. It is a difficult thing. So Samantha's here to tell us a little bit about it. So
the reason we brought her is because she is in the middle of it.
Okay.
And she went through the hard part, which is the ramp up. And the ramp up is a little overwhelming sometimes, especially like Samantha didn't use cannabis at all. And then she started the regimen, and I'm trying to get her to get to the high dose, and she'll tell you about it, but it's not an easy journey.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted her to come, so she could give you a real
Samantha,
thing.
it's time for you. So tell us about you. Tell us about your story. We'd love to hear.
Well, in 2015, I was sick and I went to the emergency room and I said that my chest hurt so that I could get in front of anyone. I'm not even going to lie. And they took a chest x-ray and they're like, "Did you know that you have a tumor on your lung?" And I was like, no, I didn't. And I didn't have insurance at the time. So I was stuck, and I was like, you know what? I just need to be really good to myself right now. I need to take care of myself. I need to make sure that all of my P's and, I's are dotted, T's are crossed.
Right.
And I had a life coach at the time, because I wasn't, I'm in recovery, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't really know how to live life, and I decided to go get a life coach. Well, thank God. He was teaching me how to eat right, how to take care of myself, how to balance a checkbook, how to do all of these different things. So he started teaching me about nutrition when I found out that I had a tumor. So fast forward to 2 years later, when I was able to afford insurance, I went to a doctor. They did a biopsy. They said, well, we're not really sure that we got it, but what we biopsied was not cancerous.
Okay.
So we're going to do a needle biopsy. And I was like, I read somewhere that it's bad to poke cancer, and I was like, so if this is or if this isn't cancer, I don't think that you should be poking at it. So I'm gonna say no to the next biopsy.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, we can just go ahead and take your lung and your lymph nodes. And I was like, yeah, no, I think I'm going to keep my lung.
So no to the biopsy, but then, okay, we'll just take your lung?
Yeah, that's
that
where
seems
he
kinda
went.
Drastic. Oh my
Well,
gosh.
I mean,
wow,
I basically told him, I was like, you know what, I'm not going to do anything else with you. I'm done with this conversation.
Yeah.
And I spoke with my primary care and I told him, I was like, I feel good. I go to the gym. I'm doing everything I can for my health. I'm overweight and I feel like my thyroid is a little, I feel like I have hypothyroid. They checked it. Turns out it wasn't. 2 years later, I started getting dizzy while working out. And I went to the doctor and they found a kidney stone. So then they wanted me to get a CAT scan done.
Okay.
So while they did the CAT scan, they're like, you have something really scary inside of you. And I was like, oh, don't worry about it. My primary care said it's probably scar tissue from when I was a kid, no big deal. And they're like, well, it's 5 centimeters. And I was like, oh my God.
And 5 centimeters is
Two
like
inches.
the size of,
It's
that's
2
big,
inches.
yeah.
And when I originally found out in all of the scans that I had, it was 3 centimeters. So within a 2-year period, it had grown. And I called Pete and I was like, you know what? I think I'm ready to start your plan. And I always had it in the back of my mind, that I was not going to do surgery. I was not going to hurt my body, that I was going to love my body. And you hear these horrible stories about people that go through chemotherapy and how it ruins the discs in their back and they have to get everything fused and they're just never the same again. And it was like, I think that I would rather have a quality of life for the rest of my life if I'm not able to get a solution than I would to put my body through that kind of turmoil.
Yeah.
But God put people in my life to help me through this, and that's where Pete came in. And like, Pete has been an amazing support for me through this process. And I'm an addict. I am. And I have a terrible addiction with food. It's always been a comfort to me. So when I started taking the medication and I was just sitting on my bed and spinning and then like I would get a sugar craving and I would just sit on my bed and I would try to wait it out, and it was really, really difficult at first. But then the juicing started kicking in.
Good.
And once the juicing started kicking in, it's like the best appetite suppressant ever, but you have to do it on a daily basis in order for that appetite suppressant component to kick in. And now I'm having trouble like eating vegetables. Like I see a salad and I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah, it just doesn't look appetizing.
Yeah, it's like I'm good. I can't
Yeah,
do it, and
yeah.
I just have to be patient with myself because this, I was diagnosed on the 18th of November. We're in February. This is all so new, and I'm just, I feel better.
Good.
I
Well,
went on a
that's-
4-mile hike the other day, and I have
Wow.
lung cancer. So
So you're doing pretty good
I'm doing
considering.
pretty
Wow.
good. Yeah.
Wow.
And there was a time when I wasn't able to work out because I would pass out.
Wow.
And now I went on a 4-mile hike and I called him. I was like, "You're never going to believe this."
Yeah.
I went on a 4-mile hike and like it makes me really, I'm grateful. I'm very grateful, but it also makes me sad that there's so many people out there that are dying
Right.
and just based off of misinformation. Like I'm getting better.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like it. And
Yeah.
and I mean, what a great support you are, Pete. And I know Allie said the same thing about you, just that you were always there, and and it sounds like you can reach out whenever you need anything,
Yeah.
Samantha. That and that's amazing. And the fact that you're feeling good is.
I feel better
Huge.
than I ever have in my entire life.
Wow.
And it's because of the good food that I'm putting into my body. I didn't realize how meat was making me feel until I stopped eating it.
Yeah.
You know?
So where are you at on the 4-part plan? Have you gone through all the steps of everything pretty much?
Okay, so I did. The hardest part was getting used to the medication because I hadn't used anything in so long. And basically I took as much as I could until I started spinning, and then I would take more the next day, and then I would take more the next day. And like, I know that I had to overshoot my mark because I needed to go back to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I overshot my mark. I got used to the medication, so then I'm able to drive because then I was able to pull back on the dose a little bit, and then it wasn't so overwhelming for me.
And what is the oil? Can you tell people what the oil is, Pete?
So what I give people is the holy anointing oil, but it's basically cannabis oil with cinnamon leaf oil, cinnamon bark oil, myrrh gum oil, and olive oil. And the recipe comes from the Bible. It's in Exodus 30, and they used to give it to the priests. And everyone, I don't necessarily follow the Bible, but what I do know is that every single person I have given the holy anointing oil to has gotten better. Not all of them have survived, but all of them were better than before they got the oil. So that's what kept me going. And the oil, one of the things I just released, or just am in the middle of releasing, is a package to where if you add the THC to it, then you'll have the perfect 2-to-1 ratio, because California Botanicals Direct is not allowed to sell any THC. So I'm making something that you can add THC to for the perfect blend of holy anointing oil, and then go to a dispensary and buy the THC, or grow your own and extract your own. And coming up on my blog website, which is coming, we're going to show you how to do that and stuff like that. We're creating some stuff that's coming up with some more informational stuff and stuff. And so really, I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad that you gave me a chance to come here. But we can make, like I said, we could do a promo code for you guys. Not that we would know, but I figure if you go to California Botanicals Direct, and when you are checking out, if you put the promo code MyJane in, you get 20% off.
Okay.
So
and what's that website?
That's CaliforniaBotanicalsDirect.com.
Okay. And put my Jane for 20% off. That's very cool. So.
And that'll be good all through till the end of the year.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Well, you hear that, everybody. So, and now I want to talk about this documentary.
Okay.
So tell us about the Cannabis versus Cancer on Amazon. It's on Amazon Prime, and I'll tell you guys that Allie had told me when she she says, I'm in a documentary now, and I watched it and I cried through the entire thing. It's such a powerful documentary. So can you tell everybody a little bit about it?
Well, it was originally I didn't know too much about it. A friend who had referred me quite a few patients along the way, because before they changed the law, if someone was sick, and like a lot of people have just sent me people, and he was one of them. And then he started making films, and he's like, "Hey, I'm doing this film on cannabis." I just thought I was going to be just a small part. I didn't know they were doing a whole episode on me.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny. If you watch the video and you kind of watch close, you're like, what the heck is going on with all these flies? There's flies.
That's right. There was
Yeah.
flies
They're
everywhere.
buzzing
That to you too.
everywhere, right? And it's the most annoying, weird thing about the video. We were making pizza literally 8 feet away from the cameras. There was an
Funny.
outdoor pizza oven blazing and a big table full of food right there. And the garage door was open, so there was flies. And,
funny.
and people were like, how do you get rid of the... At least I know they really watched the video.
Yeah, right.
When they
Right.
talk
Now
about
you
the
know.
flies.
But it was such a powerful, because you have 3 people on there with their stories that it was just.
Yeah, it really worked perfectly because it took no effort. All
Yeah.
3 people I called, yes, and they all just happened to be able to
Yeah.
meet, and it went perfect.
Yeah.
And, it's one of those
Yeah,
things.
so it's Cannabis versus Cancer on Amazon Prime, and then you have a book you said that you're working on as well, correct?
It's probably, I don't know the title yet,
Okay.
though, but it'll be released on the website first.
Okay, so
Cannabis versus-
CaliforniaBotanicals.com.
Yes.
So you guys have to just check it. Just check it out. Just check him out. Just check out the documentary and just a wonderful person. You really are. And Allie gave me your number when I got diagnosed with cancer.
You should have called.
I know. Well, since I'm down here and you're up in Northern California, I know.
I come
just-
down once a month to help.
But I'm so
people.
glad to meet you and just
thank
for
you.
you to be able to tell your story.
I was watching the thing, and I'm like, why do they want me on a women's focused radio station? And then I was like, I get it.
You're
I get
helping
it.
women.
Yeah,
You are helping
I am.
women.
I'm helping
You've
women
helped-
help themselves.
Right.
Which is
And
the
we're not
key.
good at that. So thank you for doing
Right.
that.
And along, like everyone always says, oh, you do this or you
Mm-hmm.
do this, and I've never been one that does that. I feel
Yeah.
like the plant should get the credit,
Yeah, well,
not me.
it's true.
And that the patients that actually do the work should get the credit, because it's not
Yeah.
easy
It's
to
not.
do.
It's not.
And so,
No, it's
And
not.
you're here. Samantha's here to tell us that
Right.
it's.
Oh yeah.
The journey is
yeah,
not
I mean, I've
easy.
lost 25 pounds in 2 months. Well,
Wow.
3 months. But
Wow.
yeah, I mean,
You look amazing. You look
Thank
healthy.
you.
You don't. I mean, no one would know looking at you. There's anything wrong at all. You're glowing.
thank you.
Really.
Thank you. I mean, it's been amazing for me because being healthy is something that I've strived for the last 10 years. Like, I've even put my own personal money in having a life coach and doing it. But, I tell you what, I've learned more from Pete than I have from anyone. I'm so grateful.
Well, so what's your next step now? Tell us what's coming up for you.
Well, I'm just trying to be patient with myself. I need to learn to cook some vegan food and learn how to live my lifestyle because I feel good. I want to continue this.
Good.
Even though my inner fat girl is very upset. Yeah, she's not talking to me right now.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah.
She can be mad for a little while.
Well, I mean, she just needs to go away. I think we're done with her.
Okay.
So I'm
Well,
going to
good.
try my best to implement that and, just continue on this healthy lifestyle because I'm going to have to, this is what I'm going to have to do for the rest of my life because I wouldn't let them do surgery. And I'm okay with that.
do you have a PET scan coming up or anything like that?
I
Or
do. I have a scan coming up in March.
Okay.
right. So we're
Okay.
going to try to get you back on here
Yes.
after that scan.
Yes. So you can tell us how.
Well,
this...
what's amazing is I had a CAT scan in October. In November. By the time I had my PET scan in December, the tumor had already shrunk, and
From
I
the
had
oil,
already
from
been doing the
four-part
four-part plan
plan.
for
Wow.
weeks at that point.
Wow.
So I know that this is the right path.
Good. Well, and it goes by how you feel, and
Yep.
that's the most important thing.
Absolutely.
So thanks you guys for being here today. I really
Thanks for
appreciate
having
you.
me.
And-
Thank you.
Yeah, so we'll definitely have Samantha back on, and if Pete, if you're ever in town again, I would love to have
I
you
come
back
down
on.
once a month, but I don't
Okay.
know. I usually stay in San Pedro,
Okay.
and so it's an extra trip
Well,
to come a little.
we might
further.
drag you down here again. Have you in the
Bribe-
studio.
I could be
Yeah.
bribed with lunch really
Okay,
easy.
we'll do that. Well, thanks you guys, and I really appreciate you being here and to share your stories. And everybody, you just need to check out the California Botanicals Direct and see what Pete's doing with everything coming up. And I want to thank you all for being here today and being a great part of the My Jane community. Please share this podcast with all of your curious friends and family so more people can find My Jane, My Story, and feel better. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at My Jane Social, or go on our website at myjane.com. Quote for the day to end this podcast is, "You never know how strong you are until being strong is the only choice you have."
Amen.
So have a great one today, you guys, and thank you, and we will see you next time.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in to My Jane, My Story. If you want to learn more, you can join the My Jane community at myjane.com. Get instant access to our Facebook group, Facebook community, educational resources, and updates on My Jane products and special events. And for personal attention right now, you can also pick up the phone and call 833-MY-JANE2. That's MYJANE2. And speak to your own wellness concierge, because it's time to own your wellness. Be well.